This is a Crosley AM All-American 5 radio. And this is going to be an interesting video because I'm making this with an old JVC camcorder someone gave me out of their e-waste turn-in. So we'll see. It's probably pretty low resolution. It's got a hard drive in it. So I'm gonna try and get this working for a friend of mine, and he listens to pretty much one specific station only, which is 660 AM KTNN, and they are a clear channel voice of the Navajo Nation, and they play country music and Native American music. It's DX. He's in, I think, Utah, and KTNN is in Window Rock, Arizona, which is right on the Arizona-New Mexico border. I kind of want to do a quick analysis on this tonight. I grabbed it from a friend's TV shop that's going out of business. And who knows, if I know there are a couple tubes missing, so we'll start with that and see what it does. Keep in mind that when I usually align radios, I'm usually aligning them for one specific station. Most of my stuff I align it for KNX. This one is going to be aligned for peak performance on 660 AM. Oh boy, this is going to be low resolution. So the antenna is disconnected. And you could see there's a couple bulbs missing there. And I wrote the SAMs down. It's 201-3. So don't think I'm even going to get that far with it tonight. Alright, well, we can see what we got here, which is the original paper filter, and then somebody just bridged another one. It looks like someone bridged another one across it, or maybe not. It's hard to tell where it's wired in. Wonder what that thing is. That's an interesting looking component. That looks a little bit roasty. I wonder if this thing was rewired. This thing looks like it was rewired. All this yellow wire? Really? Would Crosley actually use all one color like that? Let me get the magnifying glass on this thing. And it's got these clear IF cans, which I guess have been noted to fail a lot. The capacitors in there. Alright, here we go. Brute force. I got it plugged in. I'm not going to worry about protection because I'm going to fix whatever, so who cares. I don't even know if the 35C5 and the 35W4 and the 50C5 are any good, and I don't... Oh yeah, they're... Looks like they're getting hot. I don't expect much without an antenna. Should get KNX without an antenna. Alright, it has a radio phono switch on the back, so I'm wondering if these two need to be tied together, because it sure seems hot on the audio line. Well, that's odd. Well, I gotta say, this is a real trip. I've confirmed I hooked this up right. I've confirmed I got this hooked up right. And it's not silver mica disease, because if I pull this out or this out, it goes totally silent. So it's like the oscillator is running way off frequency. Alright, let's see here. So we're hot on 455, that's the IF frequency. I guess this thing doesn't go much below that, does it? God, I forget how to use this. That's all the way at the bottom. Try this one. Actually, let me try going up higher. It sure sounds like it's awake. It sure sounds like it's receiving. But what is it receiving? Good question.
Bitcoin. I'm working on my 18th one now. I have 17.
Okay, I changed this Bitcoin right here, which is the oscillator Bitcoin.
Behind it, what is...
Donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind.
Take DCU Stadium in San Diego. Take a trip south for a fun experience. 73939.
Let's see if it'll get KTNN. This is pretty noisy. Six. Hey, it's getting San Francisco.
Pennsylvania isn't the only place dealing with crazy amounts of snow. Though Erie has some 60 inches, there's a lot in New York as well. WIBB-TV reporter Angela Christopoulos is into the New York. From coast to coast.
Christmas, a child was...
Geez, that's hard to listen to. It's getting it, but the camera's killing it. It is picking it up.
Next 1070 News Radio.
If you look up at the sky tonight, you'll see some more clouds rolling in. Our overnight lows.
Alright, I've been experimenting with this thing a little bit, and we had to change the 12BE6 converter tube to get it working. And so what I did is I deleted the wires here that went back to the phono part, and I replaced a couple capacitors underneath. I replaced the across the line filter type cap. It's not exactly across the line in this specific setup, but I changed it. You could see it right there. And I was playing with the converter tubes and I was testing them, and I was comparing it to some that were working, and they didn't check that much different in the tester. So now what I did is I checked my B+, and my B+ is right on. In fact, I've never seen something so close to what the schematic says. But now I'm checking the filament voltage, and if I got this hooked up right, this is a 50C5, I got 30 volts AC across it. Let's try the converter tube.
Paradise float.
So you've got 8 volts across the 12BE6 on the filament. So my filament string is low, and that could be, remember when I first got this radio, these two were missing, and sometimes the way they have this 35W4 wired in here. Let's look at the schematic. Okay, Mr. Phone doesn't want to cooperate. This is pretty basic. Nothing fancy here with using the center tap on this tube. So I'm not sure what's going on here. Why is my filament voltage low? Very odd. So the lower filament voltage will, of course, cause weaker tubes to be more pronounced, because as they age, they don't emit as much. That's why the life test cools the filament off. So why am I seeing this? Why am I seeing 8.4 volts across the filament of this tube? What is going on here? Something's not right.
Switch on the system's production.
Well,
Coming up in 5 minutes when Bloomberg checks your money. The flu is saturating emergency rooms in the LA area. I'm Margaret Carrero.
These stories coming up in the next 15 minutes.
oh crap, I put the wrong tube in there. This is a 36AM5. That's one of those low current ones, and that would explain why I got 50 volts across that filament. Stupid mistake. Easy to do though. There, we got the appropriate tube in there now. Basically,
Especially in Santa Ana, at a long-established medical pot dispensary.
There were 30 people in line at 420 Central Dispensary who applauded when the doors opened at 7 in the morning. Chris Brown, the sales manager, said they had plenty of product to sell for whatever a customer was looking for.
In relation to our flower, we've probably got 35 different strains to 40 different strains. We've got up to 20 different edibles that'll be recreationally available. And all of our vape cartridges and other products will all be licensed, permitted, lab-tested brands that we've pre-vetted for recreational sales.
The owners of the store think there'll be a split in the type of customers who are coming in. Some who've waited a while to buy legally, others who are buying simply to say they've done it on the first day of sales. In Santa Ana, Pete Demetrio, KNX 1070 News Radio.
U.S. officials going after drug-dealing doctors.
stupid. Anyway, 35 AM, stand by, 35 AM3. See, what they did is, right before they EOL'd these 5-tube radios, they came up with a energy efficient line of tubes that were a little bit lower current on the filament string. I don't know, 100 milliamps less or 50 milliamps less, or the Energy Star cool burning tubes. Anyway, now we got 31 volts across the filament of the 35W4. I should check the others.
do need to be upgraded, and
it's a little bit better.
that is a victory.
11.46 volts across a 12 volt tube. So that's probably about right where we want to be. Alright, I put the original 12BE6 in that would not oscillate. I bet it works when it heats up. It's heating up right now. There it goes.
Nintendo, one of Bloomberg Businessweek's companies to watch in 2018.
So that's what I saw on the tube tester, is that it was not that much weaker. It was just a tiny bit weaker. Maybe 5% weaker than this tube right here. So what made me start wondering why it should be more robust than that. I understand this. So if I use this 12BE6, I get 11.16 volts across the filament. This is the one that was in there that's weak. And with that one in there, all I get's about 9.15 volts or so, and I've completely turned it off and let it cool down, so they all balanced out. But it's just like the resistance of this one is lower than the other ones. Alright, I just checked all the tubes from the bottom, and they're all about right where they should be filament voltage wise. This is the first time I've ever run into this type of situation, but yeah, there's something wrong with this. There's definitely something wrong with this thing. This was the original one that I changed, but there's something wrong with it too. Some of the filament strands are shorted together or something, because it's definitely drawing more current, and therefore it has less voltage across it than the other. In a transformer filament set, it wouldn't matter if they were in parallel, it would just shorten its life, but I don't know. Interesting failure mode. A lot of this noise is the camera, but it also sounds like silver mic is kicking in too, but only on the low.
2949. I'm Tony Goldwyn. 20 years ago, when my mom had lung cancer, she didn't have many choices. But today, you do. If you've been diagnosed with
No good. Rebound loop.
See, wait.
It's trimmed down.
They do get the ball back, but also, you got the ball down at the 20.
Right before the 10. We have a stall start.
The silver mica pops up when the AVC opens up. When you put it on a strong station, it reduces the gain down to where you don't hear the silver mica disease. I mean, it was real bad a minute ago. Alright, I'm putting this thing back together. All that noise I thought was the IF transformers was actually the tube. So I've replaced the tube with another one. That scratchy thing was the tube, and it's working great. This noise you hear right now is from this camera. So, picking up ktnn good, I'm done with it. I'm going to put it back together and send it to him. Alright, I'm going to pack it up and ship it. I marked ktnn there with blue. Of course, it's not coming in right now because it's the morning and DX is dead. See if I can get my classic oldies station. Although this camera is so noisy.
años que no tengo la...
Sorry, I truly am.
And now you are paying the price.
I remain in... See the pyramid along the Nile. Watch the sunrise on a drop.
Here's the original knob right now. I didn't have two of those. I'll pop it in the package. So after, between the last clip and this one, I replaced most of the capacitors, the electrolytics, and a few of the other paper capacitors. I didn't bother to video it. The last thing the NSA data center needs is another how to recap an All-American 5 radio. They have enough of those in their database, so when they eliminate 90% of us off the face of the earth, they'll have plenty of how to replace capacitors for those who they eliminate.